How's it going, everybody? Jake from Strat Geeks, ORS Fusion here, coming at you. We're going to be going over a bunch of stuff today. This is the Fusion 1.4 update, and I'm also going to be going over some statistics that we have for the last 90 days with these templates. We're going to be going over the new instruments that we have, and a bunch of other stuff about trade copying to micros, and yeah, the settings for this new update to Fusion as well. So let's get started by checking out something exciting. Let's look at the NASDAQ over the last 90 days. We have a total net profit of $19,916 and a max drawdown of $1,061, 72.91% win rate for a total of 203 trades. That's a pretty nice sample size, and I got a profit factor almost up to 2. We got 1.91 here, and average trades per day 3.42. So that's the NASDAQ template. We got a lot more. We got a lot more templates here as well. So if we check out the NASDAQ large opening range template, that was a NASDAQ small opening range template. Let's check out the large opening range template. And we got total net profit of $5,000, max drawdown of $560, 31 trade sample size. We just add that to our 200 trade sample size since they're essentially the same instrument. So we have a 231, 240, something like that trade sample size in 90 days. This win rate here on this particular template is 74.19%. And we have, our max drawdown 560 only, which is great. Our profit factor is insane, 3.55. And if we come over here to gold, let's check out our gold. Gold, we got a net profit of 90 days of $20,737 with a max drawdown a little bit higher here of $1,800. But don't forget, with these mini contracts, we're going to be cross trading to 5 micros. Now, with a larger account, 250K account, even a 150K account, this would most likely be fine. But if you got a 50K account, why not just trade this with 5 micros, half it down? Your drawdown is going to be 900 in 90 days, statistically speaking, and your be about 10,200 or something in 90 days. That's pretty darn good. I mean, we don't want to be greedy here, right? All right. So, and then the S&P 500. Excuse me. S&P 500 coming in at 17,365 with a max drawdown of 1,333. That gets our profit factor to 2.36, 122 trade sample size, 72.13% win rate. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. But, if we want to trade this with 5 micros instead of 1 mini, we would half this 17,365. So what's that, like 8,000, a little over 8,000 in 90 days. 369, it's in 918. It's almost $3,000 a month on average. And then we're going to cut this max drawdown in half. So instead of 1,300, so $650 or something. Much more reasonable for a 50K account. And yeah, 72.13 win rate here. And then we also have a template for Crude. This is all this stuff's my dream come true. I can't tell you folks how much I love having 4 different instruments to trade simultaneously on any given day. So let's check out our Crude template. Crude template coming in at $16,721 over 90 days, max drawdown a little bit on the higher side, $1,900. But the thing is, we're going to half this. We're going to half this $16,721, and we're going to go for $8,000 something, a little over $8,000. It still comes down to around $3,000 a month on average. So we'll half this $16,721 to about $8,000, while simultaneously chopping our max drawdown in half to about 800. So definitely keep it under 1,000 is the idea here. Look at our trade sample size here in 90 days, 243. That is freaking great. Now our percent profitable is a little bit lower on this one. That's 53.9%. But here's the cool thing about this particular template for Crude. We have a positive risk reward. So check this out. Our average winning trade, $356. Average losing trade, $256. So we have a legit positive risk reward here. So we don't need our win percentage to be quite as high. And we'll go over this here in a little bit more detail. I just want to give you folks an update on and an overview on all of the templates that we have here in a row. Excuse me for 1 second. All right. So I want to take our time here with this next part and go over let's start on the left side. Let's start here. So we've got NASDAQ over here on our left. We got NASDAQ. All right, let me just give you an overview of what's going on here. Let's minimize all of these. Let's calm it down now. All right, so here's what's going on in the chart. All right, so I got my control center up here. I have made an individual SIM account for each instrument. I got a SIM account NQ for MNQ, GC for MGC, ES for MES, CL for MCL. And if you want to make your own, you just right click, add simulation account, add your commissions. That's going to be, most likely it's going to be NinjaTrader Broker Lifetime. And then you just come up here and you name your account whatever you want. I would, if you're going to cross trade NQ, I would name it NQ for MNQ. Keep it organized that way. So, but I already have everything in there. So we got our control center here and our SIM account set up, getting ready to cross trade. And then we have our strategy panel, so we can see all the strategies that are running. We got, and let's organize this a little bit better here. So we got our NQ, our MNQ, our gold, our ES, and our crude, all on the appropriate time frames. So starting from left to right here, we have NASDAQ. This is our small opening range template on the NASDAQ. This is our large opening range template on the MNQ. Now, you could also use NASDAQ here and cross trade it, but the MNQ template for the large opening range works pretty well on MNQ, so why have another trade copier open if you don't need it for the cross trading? Excuse me. Then if we come up here, we can see our next instrument on our list is gold, and that's going to be the 2-minute chart. Then moving over, we have the ES, the S&P 500 on our 3-minute chart, and crude over here to the right on our 2-minute chart. So let's go through some of the, should we go through the updates first, or how I'm trade copying stuff? Maybe we should just do I don't really know. Let's go through the updates first, and then we'll come back to the trade copying. So if we right click on our chart and we go to strategies, we can see that I do indeed have ORS Fusion 1.4 loaded on the chart. We can deactivate the strategy by clicking enable, clicking apply. Now we can come in and we can mess with all the settings however we please. This is the template that you have downloaded already, hopefully, from the Discord server. Let me just show you folks the only update here that we have to look at. There's a few actually. We have the stop loss tick offset under exit settings. We have the SD%, so we can choose now the number of standard deviations or the percentage of standard deviations. So you can see here I have it as listed as percent. It's 200%, so that still means 2 standard deviations. Our profit target percent hasn't changed for NASDAQ. That's still 145%. And up here, what has changed, though, to make things even a little bit easier for everybody, is we're only allowing 1 max trade per window. So that's pretty cool. Only 1 trade per window. And when I say window, I mean buy and sell zone on the charts. In the background, that's our ORS indicator. So we can choose our percentage of our stop loss and our target. And then if we come down here, the other update is the break-even start mode. We do have break-even enabled for our NASDAQ small opening range template. And we can see we can choose either after ticks or after percent of standard deviation. So at our percent of standard deviation, as soon as so we're looking for a target here of 145% of 1 standard deviation, and at 130% of 1 standard deviation, so 15% before basically it hits the target, our stop is going to be automatically moved to break even plus 10 ticks. So our break even offset ticks is going to secure us 10 ticks. So if we get 130% on the way to 145% target, our stop loss is going to be moved to 10 ticks to secure 10 ticks. You can see here we stop trading at 2 o'clock. Not only do we stop trading at 2 o'clock, we close our last position at 2 o'clock on the dot. We can see here we actually stop trading at 1:59. And we do start trading a little bit earlier here now with this new update with the break evens and stuff. We're able to start trading at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, folks, if you have your computer set to any other time than Eastern Standard Time, you're going to have to adjust all of these times to match with whatever time you have your computer set to. I suggest just setting your computer to Eastern Standard Time. It's a lot easier that way. So, and don't worry about this down here. That's just always, well, I guess worry about it if your computer isn't set to Eastern Standard Time. So let's go over the MNQ template. So we'll just right click and we'll go to strategies. We'll deactivate the strategy, click apply, disable I should say, well, same thing really. So if we scroll down, we'll see that I have made some adjustments with the SD%, this update for Fusion 1.4. So we no longer have to go for a whole standard, 2 standard deviations away for our stop loss. We're going to do 180% instead of 2 or 200%. So we cut that down by 20%, and our profit target is going to be 110% of 1 standard deviation. And here I think it's important that we have a break even set for especially for these larger targets, since this is a larger opening range template. So we do have our break even box checked here after percent of standard deviation. Let's see, so after 100%, so we're going for 110% target. As soon as we get to 100% of a standard deviation, so almost to target, we're going to move our stop loss all the way up to secure 100 ticks. So we don't want to lose out if we're that close to hitting target. And then all positions are going to exit at 12:45 p.m. And we can see our last trade will be taken at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. So this template trades from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our trade will exit, no matter what, automatically at 12:45. If your trade does not exit automatically, there was some kind of issue with Rhythmic or your computer or something, but the strategy will exit at 12:45. If everything is running smoothly on your end. And let's get into our gold template. So we can right click, we'll go to strategies. We'll disable the strategy, click apply. And we can see we do have some stuff that I have been updating and messing around with, especially for these next 3 instruments for gold, ES, and Crude. These are all brand new for Fusion 1.4. Really stoked on these. We can see here, make sure when you're trading live, by the way, to not have backtest checked. Deselect backtest. Click enable, click apply for when you're trading live. Make sure, again, you do not have backtest checked when trading live. So we still have the same opening range, 940 to 930. Our ADX value on this particular template is 25. So we're going to need to be over 25 to take trend trades. Under 25, we're going to be taking the range trades. And we can see our minimum range requirement here for this template to trade. There's actually only one template for now for all the rest of the 3 instruments that we're going to be going over today. So the gold, the ES, and the Crude all have just one template, which is nice. It's pretty darn good results for just one template, so why add to it? So our minimum range is going to be 25. Our maximum is 99. If we're under 25, this template, it's not trading. If we're over 99, or so 100 or over, then we're also not going to be trading. I have tweaked our T-speed, W-speed, action, and our S and A level slightly here. We're using an 18 EMA, and we're allowed 2 trades per window. And for right here, for this CSV date filter, I do have this checked on all my templates because I have the FOMC data exclusion file in here. That was what I was showing you folks earlier, is all of the last 90 days, excluding every single FOMC day. So again, we do not trade on FOMC days. It is not worth it. This particular template is going to be trading from 10:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2:30 p.m. Again, if you do not have your computer set to Eastern Standard Time, make sure to adjust all of these times, including these, and scrolling down here when our last trade will be exited at 4:03 p.m. So let's check out our exit settings here. This is pretty exciting. For gold, we have a true one-to-one risk reward. Being able to use the SD% instead of the SD number, I was able to cut the stop loss at 150% instead of having to use 2 full standard deviations. Actually, let's go back up and I want to show you something else here. Our divider now on gold for our opening range is not 2, it's not 4, it's 3. Something about 3 just seems to work better on our, what are we on? Our 2-minute template. So our opening range is going to be divided into 3 sections. 3. Not 2, not 4. So just how it works. And that said, if we scroll down to our targets and our stops, so our stop is going to be 150% of one of those standard deviations. Our profit target is going to also be 150% of that standard deviation. Let's scroll back up again. Yeah, 2 trades per window, per buy zone, per sell zone. Go back and watch the Fusion detailed video on exactly how Fusion takes its trades. That's not what this video is about. This video is about explaining these 1.4 updates and these new instrument templates. So if we go down, we can see we are not using a break even here. Just didn't really help that much. I'd really rather not use break evens if possible, because the back tests get a little bit shady. Using the least amount of backtesting we can do with break evens, the better. So I figured didn't really make that much of a difference on this particular template, so why bother? So yeah, that's for our what did we just do? Gold. That's for our gold there. So let's cancel out of this and let's check out our S&P 500. We'll right click. We'll go to strategies, disable, click apply. Let's move this into the center of the screen here. And let's go down. So we have our entry type still on auto for everything. Our ADX period. So we're only going to be looking back 5 bars on the ES. Don't know why. Just seems like it's just better. So for our ADX period, it's 5. And then our ADX value, again, it's going to be 25 here on this template. And we can see our position size is also 1. 1 position size on everything that's mini. The only thing that's different is the MNQ down here with the 5 micros. And we have the same opening range here. Our divider on the S&P 500, our divider is 2. So as soon as our opening range closes, that first 15 minutes, we're going to be splitting into 2 standard deviations. Not 3, not 4, 2. We're going to be splitting into 2. Our minimum range ticks is 20. Our maximum is 50 for this template to trade. If it's over 50 ticks, then we're not trading ES. Simple as that. We've dropped our T-speed, W-speed, and action way down. I don't know why. Just the way ES is. It just moves slower. So that's just how it is. And our EMA is all the way down to a 14 here. We're allowed to have 1 max trade per window. And our trading times are from 10:05 Eastern Standard Time to 2:30 p.m. Scrolling down. And the next parameter we're going to check out here is something really cool. We have pretty close to a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio here. It's as good as I could get it. We are on SD%, not number. We're on SD%. So our standard deviation offset value, so our stop's going to be 255% away. We're going to be looking for a target of 190%. So slightly inverted risk reward, but not that bad at all. Pretty darn nice. And if we come down here and we look at our break even, that is indeed checked. So if we get to 175% of 190%, then our stop loss is going to be moved to plus 15, and we're going to secure 15 ticks. And our exit time for this template, the last trade of the day, if it has not hit target or stop, will be auto closed at 2:30 p.m. Moving on to our last but not least crude template. We'll right click, go to strategies, click enable, click apply. Now we can adjust our settings. And we'll check out what we got here for crude. Our ADX period is 10, ADX value 25, and we got one position size here. This is the most important thing here. Anything you want to adjust as far as how many contracts the system will trade, this is the spot right here. So our divider for crude on our 2-minute chart is a 4. So we're going to divide our opening range into 4 sections. Our minimum tick requirement to trade this template is 20 ticks, and our maximum is 75. If it's over 75, so 76 or over, crude's not going to trade. If it's under 20, crude's not going to trade. But we do find that it trades most days. And we have also dropped our T, W, A, and S levels way down for crude, and our 9 EMA too way down as well. Just seems like that's the best thing that we can get. That's pretty awesome. So max trades per window here on crude is going to be one trade per window, buy sell zone. And the trading time for crude is going to be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. And if we continue to scroll down, we'll come to the other most important part here. No tick stop offset. We're just going to use our SD%. Here again, our stop loss offset is 3. Here, check this out. So we have in this set of 4 instruments, 5 if you want to count M and Q as the 5th, but we really have 4 instruments. We have 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is awesome. And then for crude, we actually have a positive risk reward ratio. Our stop loss is going to be 300% of 1 standard deviation. So you could think of that as 1.5 standard deviations, but 300%. And our target is going to be 450%. So we're risking 300% to make 450%. And if we come down here, yeah, no stop loss to break even here necessary on this one. Our last trade, if it is still active, will be shut down automatically by Fusion, ORS Fusion at 2:30 p.m.